Welcome to the Puncher's Chance MMA Podcast. This is Rafael Cervantes. Today we're going to be talking about the UFC 251 Fight Island, Masvidal versus Usman. Okay, first fight at Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. Fight Island UFC 251, Usman versus Masvidal. That was a pretty good fight card. There was some pretty good finishes, although felt like the main event was a little lackluster. But Usman had to do what he had to do. But place looked amazing. It's incredible what the UFC was able to set up in Abu Dhabi and the whole Yas Island. It looked like a pretty cool setup. The night started off with a banger with Martin Day versus Davey Grant. Just barn burner of a fight. Really, both fighters came out very aggressive. I would say Davey Grant landed the better of the shots. Definitely would have won that first round if it wasn't for a huge right that Day landed towards the end of the round. That really hurt Davey. You could see him kind of adjusting his jaw, kind of like moving it around. Definitely had his jaw hurt and would later reveal that he probably had a broken jaw. It was that huge right that Day landed as the round ended. And then round two, again, both guys landing good combinations. Grant seemed like he was trying to take it a little more to the floor, a little more to the ground, while Day wanted to keep it standing. Grant was eventually able to get it to the floor, get a couple of takedowns, and even got pretty deep on an armbar. And Day was able to kind of roll out of it, escaped it. Day was able. I remember Day landing a spinning back kick, dropped him with it. But overall, second round, I would say Grant won it with the submission attempts, landed the cleaner shots, was able to control Day on the floor for a while. And then round three started off the same. Both fighters looking to exchange. Good exchanges between the two, and then at one point both fighters shot a left hook, and it was Davey Grant that was able to land on Day and just knocked him out cold. So it was a very good fight. Ended the fight 2:38 of the third round. Huge knockout. Grant looks over to Dana White, who's standing cage side, and letting him know that he broke his jaw in the first round. But really fun fight. B plus, A minus. I would grade it. Very, very good fight to start off the night. That took us to our second fight. Rosa, 12-3 versus Vanessa Melo, 10-7 at bantamweight. Vanessa Melo missed weight. Apparently it was her fourth time missing weight in the UFC. So, both girls very thick in the thigh regions. It was a pretty entertaining fight. Rosa was definitely the longer fighter, was able to keep Vanessa Melo at bay, landing the majority of the strikes, and it was really hard for Melo to get on the inside, and Rosa just pretty much pieced her up on the outside. Was able to get takedowns or late in the rounds, I should say. Yeah, round one, Rosa was landing a lot of inside leg kicks and controlling the distance. She was landing at a set of pretty good pace on her. Took her down with about a minute left. Round one, clearly Rosa, or Rosa if you're Brazilian. Round two, more of the same. She actually took her down halfway during the round, ground and pounded her for the rest of the round. Melo wasn't able to get up, wasn't able to offer any kind of submission attempts off her back or anything. And then round three, Rosa just kind of had her number. Really, really good jab, moving well, out of distance for Melo to be able to land. Actually, I think towards the end of the round, Rosa shot in for a takedown, and Melo was able to sprawl to avoid the takedown and landed a lot of shots in success. But unfortunately, it was too late. Rosa pretty much had the fight won by then. Ended up winning a very unanimous decision. Pretty entertaining fight. Graded a C if I had to give it a grade. But yeah, Carol Rosa looked like a pretty promising fighter in the bantamweight division. And then third fight of the night, I should say. Raulian Paiva versus Zalgas Zumagulov. The flyweight division. Paiva is, really tall fighter for this weight class. I believe he missed weight as well. Landed giant body kicks to Zalgas in that first round. Just a very kick-heavy attack for Paiva. Zalgas definitely looked a little hesitant out there. But pretty promising record for both guys. Paiva came in at 19-3, and Zalgas came in at 13-3. But yeah, it was Zalgas' first fight in the UFC. I believe out of Dagestan, another Dagestani fighter. Yeah, it seemed like Zalgas was looking for more of a takedown approach, trying to take the fight to the ground, and Paiva was looking for more strikes in the first round. Second round was a little more competitive. Zalgas ended up taking Paiva down, but yeah, Zalgas wasn't very successful in his takedowns. He was 2 of 11 for the fight, so wasn't very good in that aspect. And I mean, you got to give credit to Paiva for keeping the fight on his feet. Very well could have been 1-1, one round each guy going into the third round. Paiva in round 3 again, very kick-heavy attack. Zalgas was more of a more boxing, clinch work. And there was a brutal kick to the groin. Right towards the end of the round. It was just brutal, one of the worst groin kicks I've ever seen. And took a while for Zalgas to recover, but yeah, unfortunate. And then I think he ended up kneeing him again to the groin right as the round ended. So it was unfortunate for Zalgas at the end of the round, but Paiva ended up winning a unanimous decision. Give the fight maybe a C, D, or C. It wasn't very exciting. Like I said, Zalgas maybe with UFC jitters, he was a little hesitant out there, kind of wide-eyed. But Paiva with the 20-3 record, very young too. It seems like a pretty promising prospect in that division, especially if he's able to make weight, and at that in that weight class, I think he's going to do very well. And the next fight was Marcin Tybura versus Maxim Grishin. Marcin at 18-6 and Maxim at 37-2. Lots of fights under his belt. Normally a light heavyweight fighter. This fight was at heavyweight. If I have to be honest, very boring fight. Like a D for this fight. Very, very boring fight. Most of the fight was Tybura kind of just bull rushing Grishin to the fence and just kind of holding him there. Not much action. Big size differential between the two. First round, not much. It was just and the commentators had mentioned that Tybura was kind of planning on doing that. That he was just gonna tire out Maxim Grishin, which is kind of crazy because Tybura was a bigger guy. It was weird that he thought that Maxim would tire out, but that was his goal. His goal was to tire him out and take him down and go for a submission. Round 2 more the same, kind of just leaning up on Grisham. Another morning round, just landing little shots here and there. And then eventually by round 3, just like Tybura had predicted, he was able to take Grishin down, moved to full guard, and just started smashing him. And just started really pounding. Was able to do a lot of damage to him right as the fight ended. Definitely unanimous decision for Tybura. I think there was a couple of 10-8 rounds in that one as well. And the fight after that was Makwan Amirkhani versus Danny Henry. Amirkhani 15-4, Danny Henry at 12-3. I like this Amirkhani guy. Like I remember seeing one of his previous fights where he came out and hit dude with the flying knee and got a really, really good stoppage early, but seems to kind of like try to calm himself down a little bit. I know he's had a couple of losses in the UFC, so he's I think he lost to Shane Burgos, but this was a pretty quick fight. I'm sorry, there was actually a fight before that. Leonardo Santos versus Roman Bogatov. Santos at 17-4 versus Bogatov at undefeated fighter 10-0. Yeah, Santos came out early, looking to strike, and Bogatov was looking more for takedowns. It was previous fights have shown that he goes for a takedown pretty aggressively. Round one was more of a feeling out process. And round two, Leonardo Santos was able to land some really good combinations. I remember 3 straight brutal rights that were just really put Bogatov in a really bad situation. Seemed like he was out on his feet. Ref definitely could have stepped in and stopped the fight, but let it continue, and Bogatov was able to recover. But after the combination, Santos I think landed a high kick as well, and then it seemed like Santos got a little tired, and Bogatov was able to regain his consciousness and position, and kind of end up on top. But yeah, big round for Leonardo Santos. And then round 3, I mean, was pretty much just low kicks, brutal knees that went low. Just left Mark Goddard in disbelief. He was like, "What are you doing to Bogatov?" He was just like, after the second illegal knee, it was just like, he was just crazy. And then after that, so Leonardo dos Santos pretty much kind of got himself tired. He went for the takedown in that second round. He went for the finish in that second round, kind of tired himself out. So he kind of took those low blows to kind of catch his breath. But I mean, they're brutal low blows, brutal knees to the groin. And then Bogatov, clearly Santos was down. He was down the point. He had his knee down and hand down, and he just knees him in the head. Brutal knee, like late in the fight. And I'm just like, and they're asking Santos, "Are you ready? Are you okay to continue?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess." But just brutal shots. It was just tough to watch. Not much of an exciting fight, but I'd give it like maybe a C, D, C. But yeah, the low blows definitely stole the show. And then back to Makwan, Amirkhani versus Danny Henry, excuse me. Amirkhani came in, kind of faked the flying knee, got into the clinch, body lock into a takedown, threatened with the arm and guillotine, turned it into an anaconda choke. And it looked like Henry was okay, but just Amirkhani's got a squeeze on him, and was able to put him out and like immediately try to lift his legs up in the air and try to get Henry. A pretty classy move by Amirkhani. No, he's kind of looked a little too confident in there sometimes, but it seems like he's trying to be classy out there and really looked out for Henry's health. But yeah, early 3 minutes 15 seconds in the first round, Anaconda choke, brutal choke. Fight after that, I really liked Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, 22-6 versus Muslim Salikhov, 16-2. Spinning shit galore, I'd like to say. Both guys were, I think, Dos Santos, a Copa guy, and Salikhov throws a bunch of spinning heel kicks, spinning back kicks. First round, Dos Santos landed a huge right hand, and Salikhov started going for the takedown, and Santos landed some good ground and pound. I think that pretty much gave him the round. In round 2, I gave to Salikhov. Just beautiful spinning back kicks, super fast and precise. I think at one point Dos Santos tries to do the same, and Salikhov catches and like power bombs him. But Santos lands some good shots, but Muslim shoots down for a take. It was definitely a close round, but I would say Salikhov ended up with the better of the exchanges in that round. But it could have gone either way. The third round, Salikhov definitely won. You could see him kind of pulling away. Very, very exciting fight, though. Like I said, spinning shit galore. I mean, I'd like to see Salikhov fight again, and Dos Santos as well. Both guys really talented. But very, very exciting fight. I would say B+, A- for fight. Both guys throw really, really powerful strikes. And Salikhov ended up pulling out a split decision on that one. The fight after that was the Volkan Oezdemir at 17-4 versus the UFC newcomer Jiri Prochazka at 26-3-1 in the light heavyweight division. This fight, I was super pumped about. I'd heard of Jiri a little bit. They had mentioned that he had been offered a UFC contract in the past, and he turned it down because he wanted to get better. He was like, I want to go for UFC championship by the time I come into the UFC, so I want to take some time and get better. But I didn't really see any of his fights, and comes out against Volkan, who no time, and just comes out super aggressive all the time. And first round, Jiri comes out uber confident, hands down, clowning Volkan. Both fighters slugging away, and Volkan was landing some good shots. He was rocking Jiri at times. But a lot of theatrics by Jiri, a lot of hands down uber confidence, kind of looking away at the fighter, but just uber confident. Round 2, pretty early in the round, Jiri lands a high kick that absolutely stuns Volkan, makes him do the chicken dance. Throws a couple of strikes and lands a 1-2 against the. It was like a jab, right hook, left jab, right hook against the fence, and Oezdemir is out. Just knocks him out completely. So really excited for Prochazka to see what he can add to the UFC light heavyweight division. Just giant guy too, just really long arms, big tall guy, big muscular dude, and extremely entertaining, entertaining fighter, and just put on a show. She got outstruck by Oezdemir, but that nasty head kick, man, just brutal. And I think that was the main prelim. And we go to the main card, the pay-per-view. First fight of the night for the main card was Amanda Ribas at 9-1 versus Paige VanZant 8-4 in the flyweight division. Yeah, just total domination by Ribas. Came in. Just sinks in an armbar super early. Kind of just had an arm throw, took her down, had her in like a scarf choke, and was able to. I think Paige took her back at one point, and Ribas took her back. Sunk in a high level armbar, and kind of reminded me of Ronda Rousey's armbar on Kat Zingano, that kind of angle, but just nasty armbar. Ribas is, I think, going to be she's already an exciting addition to the women's. I guess she wants to be a two weight champ, 115, 125. But she wants to go back down to 115. But just high level jiu-jitsu. Been doing it since she was a little kid, so you could definitely see the level that she's at. A lot of girls are gonna have a hard time with that. The next fight was Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. Another great fight between the two. The second fight between the two. First fight, of course, ended in Jessica Andrade picking up Rose and slamming her down on her head and knocking her unconscious. But this fight started off much like the first fight between the two. Rose looked sharp, a lot faster than Jessica. Just keeping her at bay, cutting angles, landing really, really good shots, good knees. Clearly, first round went to Rose. Round 2, pretty much the same for Rose. Just really, really sharp. She's just piecing Jessica up. But it seems like Jessica's really not. I know Jessica mentioned that in the first fight that when Rose was hitting her, she wasn't really feeling the shots. She said she was like, she was hitting me, but I wasn't really feeling them. And it seemed more of the same. Like it wasn't really doing damage. She was kind of walking through the punches, but Rose is just beautiful, working off the jabs, beautiful jab, putting in really good work in that second round, and then third round got interesting because Andrade was able to land just this brutal right hand that destroyed. I don't know if the eye swelled up so much because of the broken nose, but Rose definitely had a broken nose. She had a giant cut over it, and then I believe it was her left eye, swole up so bad, and Andrade was able to land these brutal shots. So it was like Rose was landing these tiny, or not tiny, but these really sharp attacks, and Andrade wasn't feeling them. But when Andrade was landing these brutal shots, you could tell Rose was getting stunned, and at one point she's not seeing these punches come from the left side because that eye was so swollen. But it ended up going the distance, and and even towards the end of the round, Rose is still like trying to fight. Like I don't know if they told her she was down or whatnot, but it seemed like she was trying to get a finish and not let it go to the hands of the judges. But just hats off to Rose, really putting it out there. And she could have coasted, but she just maybe should have coasted because she got. I'm telling you, that eye and nose was brutal, but you can't be mad at her for that. Just A+ fight, really, really good fight. I believe it won fight of the night as well. And then the next fight was Petr Yan versus Jose Aldo. Petr Yan at 14-1 and Jose Aldo at 28-6 for the vacant bantamweight title. Yeah, what can I say about this fight? Yan is he's a monster, man. For this weight class, he's gonna be tough to beat. First round, Aldo was able to keep up with him. It seems like Aldo comes out. He's been gassing later in his fights, but he comes out really fast and really strong, and looked like he really put in work this guy because he came out shredded. And he came out with low kicks too, which we haven't seen a lot from Jose Aldo. He's probably one of the best low kicker in the game. And kind of made Jan, switch position, change stances at one point. He was landing so many low kicks to the lead leg. But definitely the highlight of the first round was a brutal body shot that Jan was able to land on Aldo. Almost had the fight stop. Definitely had the referee step in there and take a look at Aldo because he was really, really hurt. And then while he was down, Jan kind of landed a couple of body shots as well and made Aldo wince in pain, kind of turtled up. And that's how the first round ended. Second round, more leg kicks by Aldo. Really good body kicks. Seemed like Jan was throwing more punches, more of a punching attack. Had the second round going to Aldo. I believe he landed more of the cleaner exchanges. It was a lot of leg kicks. It was really nice to see Aldo go back to that. In the third round, Aldo started going to the body a lot. It was really digging to the body. And he looked good. He looked a lot faster than Jan, but it seemed like when Jan was landing his strikes, it was having more of an effect on Aldo. But Aldo looked really good out there. He looked like he was taking that round. Looked like Jan was slowing down in that third round, like he was trying to catch his win. Yeah, definitely gave the round to Aldo. And then round 4, Jan starts going to the body and seems to kind of slow Aldo down, and then Jan starts gaining momentum. But yeah, you can see the body shots were really having an effect on Aldo in that 4th round. I gave that round to Jan. But just amazing fight to that point. Just both fighters. I think at one point they broke the record for amount of strikes landed in the bantamweight fight. Both fighters just going for it. In the 5th round, Jan lands a huge left hand early in the round, and Aldo falls back, and then Jan just proceeds to kind of just pound on him for a while, and then just not even defending himself. It was kind of a bad stoppage for the referee. I mean, in the sense that he didn't stop it early enough. Tough loss for Aldo. He looked really good out there, but it just seemed like he kind of ran out of gas, and it could have been those body shots that Jan was going to, because it seemed like Aldo had all the momentum going from at the end of that round 3, and then round 4, Jan kind of went to the body after finding success in that first round, and then I think it was ended up at the end of the fight, just Aldo just turtled up and Jan just pounded on him left, rights, and just it was brutal. It was kind of tough to watch. All this blood on the mat after, and and then Jan stands up, does a backflip after the fight, just complete monsters. He's going to be a tough guy to beat in that weight class. I think the fight was stopped 3 minutes 24 seconds of the 5th round. So Jan was very, very impressive. Withstood some big shots from Aldo, but I mean, you look at the total strikes, Jan outlanded him, and most of it was the ground and pound at the end, but they have total strikes 258 to 83. So Jan, and he's young too. He's gonna be tough to beat. And so Jan becomes the bantamweight champion of the world. Fight after that was Alexander Volkanovski, 21-1 versus Max Holloway, 21-5 for the featherweight title. Second fight between the two. Volkanovski started off with good leg kicks again, just like the first fight. And Holloway was able to stun Volkan that first round. Was able to stun Volkanovski with the right hand. Kind of clowned him too, like, I made you stumble. And then towards the end of the round, Holloway lands a right high kick and drops Volkanovski. So definitely have Holloway winning that first round. Round 2, Holloway's landing good shots again, just landing really, really good combination. Lands a good uppercut. Very methodical approach for Max. Wasn't too aggressive, but just wasn't getting caught with the leg kicks as much. But Holloway, I believe, dropped Volkanovski again with that uppercut in that second round. So first 2 rounds, Holloway, put in work. And then the third round was a closer round between the two. Both guys landed good shots. Volkanovski started landing his jab, has a good left lead. Started getting takedowns as well. I think the takedowns came more in the fourth and fifth round. But yeah, this is where the controversy starts. That third round, whether you gave it to Holloway, well, if I'm not mistaken, even stunned Volkanovski in that third round. But I believe the numbers had it that Volkanovski landed more shots in that third round. But very close, very hard to judge. Fourth round, I did think was more of a convincing, was the most convincing round for Volkanovski. Was able to get the jab established, was able to get a takedown. Not much control on the floor, but was able to get the takedown. And then round 5, Volkanovski landed a couple of takedowns, but more. I think I gave that round to Volkanovski. So, like I said, depending on how you graded that third round, or how you judge that third round, it was kind of like a toss-up. Another very, very competitive decision. I had Max Holloway just because of the early rounds. I thought he won those rounds more convincingly than Volkanovski won his rounds, but judges don't always see it that way. And then at the end, Volkanovski ended up winning a split decision, and the whole world is pissed. I think it's just because Holloway is more popular fighter, but yeah, that was a tough one. I can see why people would be upset, but I can also see why Volkanovski would win as well. And Volkanovski retains his featherweight title. But yeah, it was a good fight, very exciting fight. Much like the first. And then our main event was Kamaru Usman at 16-1 versus Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, 35-13 for the welterweight title. First round, Masvidal comes out extremely aggressive, throwing inside left kicks, kicks to the body. Usman was able to take him down early. Masvidal was eventually able to get back up. But you could tell he was like, I'm gonna go for it this first round and see what I can land on this guy, because long fight against Usman is probably not gonna go his way. So it seemed like he kind of blew his wad in that sense. But yeah, it seemed like Usman really wanted to kind of tire out Masvidal, put him up against the fence, and was really grinding his head into him actually cut Masvidal in that first round over his left eye. Foot stomps, shoulder strikes, knees to the thighs, just kind of putting his weight and using his strength against Masvidal to tire him out. And was really able to accomplish that. But Masvidal definitely won that first round, landing the bigger of the shots. I think kind of stumbled Usman at one point too, landed a really good right hand. And yeah, it seemed like Masvidal was already slowing down at the end of the round. Second round, Usman did a better job of controlling the clinch earlier. Masvidal was still going for inside leg kicks, kicks to the body, landed some good kicks to the body, but as soon as Usman got his hands on him, he would just push him up against the cage, shoulder strikes, foot stomps, knees to the thighs, and the second round landed another headbutt again to cut him in his forehead. He was landing big body shots, big right hand to the body, just zapping Masvidal of his stamina. But Masvidal did a really good job. I was very impressed by Masvidal's stuffing of the takedowns early on. He was able to take down a lot. He was able to stuff a lot of the takedowns. In third, fourth, and fifth was pretty much the same. Jorge Masvidal was just tired, and Usman was just putting him up against the cage, landing some good elbows every now and then, but it was mainly foot stomps, shoulder strikes, and Masvidal wasn't able to get much situated. He would separate every now and then, throw some body kicks, landed some good right hands, but Usman's a beast. 6 days to prepare for this guy. I don't think that's gonna do it. But the good thing is that you were able to see the two kind of come together and kind of squash the beef. And heard Masvidal say, we don't have to talk. We don't have to talk shit to build up the fight. And I think he was just upset that Usman kind of talked shit about him. So it was good to see them kind of squashing the beef, but I'd like to see Masvidal get out there and win a couple more fights and have a good training camp and maybe run it back. But it seemed like it was like this would happen again. So it's tough to kind of sell this fight again. But overall, pretty good pay-per-view. I think they said they had 1.3 million pay-per-view buys, which I'm happy for the fighters. I'm happy for Masvidal and Usman. They definitely got paid. But overall, for our first fight at Fight Island, it's pretty entertaining fights. I think Davey Grant won for his knockout of Martin Day. trying to think who else won. But yeah, Jiri Prochazka, I think he won for his knockout. Yeah, that was UFC 251. And thank you for listening to the Puncher's Chance MMA Podcast, where we go over previous MMA fights and upcoming MMA fights. My name is Rafael Cervantes, and we'll see you again next time. Peace.